Hi, my name is Fatima of vegaspersonaltrainer.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to show you foam rolling 201, which is an extension of our original foam rolling 101. Ways to incorporate the foam roller into your current workout routine, or if you've never used a foam roll before, ways to use it for the first time. So today, the equipment that we've got on board, a tennis ball, we've got a bendable foam stick, a spherical foam roll, same density as your foam roll cylinder. I've got a 3-foot round and then some variations of the round in different heights. So when I ask the client what type of experience they have with a foam roller, the first thing they show me is something that looks like this. They take a seat and start to roll out their back. You might hear some pops, feel some ooh and ahs, but oftentimes there's a missing link. What I'd like to show you today are some ways to incorporate those basic movements and try to make them work better for you. Same approach. You're going to lie back on your foam roll. Just make sure you're supporting your head, your neck, lightly, and the fingertips. And instead of stopping where it feels like it's relieving, make sure you go from insertion to insertion, or one point to the next, from your hip to your head. So I'm going to continue up to my neck, shoulders, and ears. Take another deep breath and do this as slowly as possible. Work your way back down. If you let the weight of your trunk go heavy onto the foam roll, you're actually getting more release out of those tissues because you're not tensing them up. Continue all the way down to your hip. Take another deep breath and then repeat. Thinking back to what I spoke about in Foam Roll 101, that we want to work the foam roller in complements. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the opposite, front, back, left, and right. We just finished foam rolling your spine. So if you flip forward, position the foam roller on your hips. The complement to your back is going to be your abdominals. Begin to roll toward your rib cage. Go as high as you can toward the sternum. If you're female, just be careful of the breast tissue. Take a deep breath, and then work your way in the opposite direction. Find anything interesting, you're welcome to hang out. Small movements in friction or direct pressure. You find something hot that may begin at number 8. Remember to give yourself a few breaths until that number comes down a few notches, 5 or below. That's foam rolling your abdominals. So another area that I find a lot of clients tend to miss when they're foam rolling is the aspect of their thighs. It's a real similar approach to what we just left you with for the abdominals. You're coming in the belly down position, only we're going to take it south. We're going to go from your hips toward your knees. Now I've got a shorter version of a foam roll that I'm working with. This is great, especially if you'd like to try individual sides. You might have some hot spots in and around your hip hinge area. If you sit a lot at a desk, turn your body at different angles, slightly out or slightly in, and then one leg at a time with a foam roller that's half the distance can really help alleviate some of the tension. That's foam rolling your hip, your thigh. So foam rolling the front of our thigh is fairly straightforward. You're going from your hip bone down the front of your leg toward the insertion that's at your knee. Make sure to go in both directions. Take your time. Not only going south, but you're also working this north. You can also turn your feet slightly inward and slightly outward as you roll, which will direct that long bone in your thigh, your femur, so you're able to get into different areas or different angles of your quad. That's foam rolling the front of our thigh. So another overlooked area for foam rolling happens to be the hamstrings. And most folks will try to get this like we did the calves. They'll begin by rolling from the back of their knees and in the seated position, rolling up to the insertions in their glutes, their hips. The issue becomes that the quadriceps take up most of the room on the leg, and I don't find this being very effective with the clients that I work with to foam roll the tension out of their hamstrings. So instead, what I'm going to train is a foam roller for the stick. Remember, this has got some pliability to it. Start on your back, straighten out one of the legs, and again, going from insertion to insertion, so the area just below the knee. I'm going to roll down the center of our hamstrings, angling this slightly inward, down the middle, and also on the outside to get the hamstrings. It does take a little bit of elbow grease to get this done. And if you don't have a stick, you can certainly use PVC piping. But I find this is the best way to get the deepest parts of your thigh and the back of your legs and hamstrings. And that's foam rolling your hamstrings. So we just foam rolled one of my legs. Rather, we used the stick to get that same action out of the foam roller. I can tell you that I feel like I need to roll my other side. As I roll onto my back, again, the same idea is to grab hold of that stick on either side. Apply a little bit of tension, a little bit of elbow grease, and you want to strip that muscle as low as you can toward your glute. Turn it slightly outward and also slightly inward. The hamstrings have 3 heads and they insert in different angles to the back of the thigh to really get that crevice, the muscles that are deep in the back of the leg. And that's foam rolling your hamstrings. So we switched gears and we're using a tennis ball. Now it's not exactly a foam roller since it's not all the way around the size of the cylindrical piece, and it's definitely not a stick. I still find it works. What I do with this one is that I tend to strip the fascia at the bottom of my feet. This is a great movement for runners, folks that have ever been told they've had plantar fasciitis. You get out of bed, the first thing you do is put your feet on the ground. You feel the centers of your feet. My suggestion is to drop some tennis balls around the house. If you see the tennis ball, it's a visual cue that something's going to be done. And again, you're looking for hot spots. You find something hot, put a little pressure on it. You can do some micro stripping on it. The idea is to take the number that feels hot and bring it down a few ticks using your breath, using just the amount of pressure that your body is needing at this particular time. As you do this on the other side, again, this may not be the foot that feels like it has the fasciitis or the tension in it, but I want to do it in complement. So I'm going to go ahead and work the other foot in the same manner, getting in between the toes, also toward the heel. If you find that you have slippery feet, put on a sock. It's going to hold that tennis ball in place. What also works might be a lacrosse ball. Golf ball's too small. Softball's too large. The next exercise I'd like to show you involves a spherical foam roll. So what's different about the spherical shape versus cylindrical shape is that you've got what looks to be 3 dimensions of movement. I'm going to use this to strip my chest. So as you place that foam roll, this happens to be a 6-inch foam roll around, they also make it in 8. You're going to go right to the center of your chest or sternum. And all of the insertion spots for your pec wall, which happens to be the second largest of the movements in the shoulders, the lats, number 1, pecs, number 2. You guide that stripper along the edges of your pec wall up to your collarbone. You can go in toward your shoulder, toward the armpit. If you're male, this is fine to go around the entire surface of your chest, in through the nipple line. If you're female, just please be careful of any breast tissue. You just want to move that off to the side. And if it hurts, obviously, don't press on it. If it's uncomfortable, discomfort versus pain, discomfort may be normal. Use your breath. Watch the number come down. As long as it's coming down, you're probably on something that's pretty benign. As you come up toward the shoulder on both sides, remember to do this on both sides, looking to relieve any surface tension in your pecs. What I find with my clients is that surface tension in the pecs tends to cut down their breathing. Also distorts the anatomy such that folks really have bad posture or poor posture, and it can be so much more improved. And coming down the center and just finishing up that line. This won't work so well if you have a tennis ball. It will work moderately well if you use a medicine ball, but look at the size. This is 6 inches around. Most of the medicine balls that you use in the gym facility, for example, are probably 8 inches to start, and that's so you can get a hold of it. Do the best you can, or find one of these online at your favorite retailer. So just a couple more key points to keep in mind about the foam roll. You don't need to warm up. The visual cue of seeing a tennis ball by your bedside, maybe even seeing one of these foam rolls lying around the gym, is enough of a reminder to get on it and use it. Foam rolling is a great way to pre-game your workouts. So before you do your stretching, before you do your yoga class, hop on the foam roller. You could also post-game your workouts. So again, it's a nice way to cool down, to do yourself a favor so you're getting ready for the next event, the next workout, the next feel-good moment. Another thing you want to consider is that you don't want to really foam roll when you're sore. So if you've just gone through a workout and your muscle bellies are sore, it's probably going to make the situation worse. If anything, you're not going to be foam rolling to relieve or accelerate your recovery. And you'll probably want to wait a good day or so before you try the foam rolling again. keep in mind, foam rolling has worked for a lot of my clients. It's a way that you can use stretch and make it better, enhance your performance, and it doesn't require very much equipment at all for you to enjoy. Thanks for checking in.